Hello and welcome to TAN TV, the African American Network, where we have a local feel and a global reach, y'all. You know how we do it here at TAN. We just have breaking news, we break in, and we felt here at TAN TV that this is a break in time and a breaking news. And I see you, my panel that we have assembled here. I'm gonna start out with first with our creator of TAN TV, the African American Network, where we have a local feel and a global reach, Miss Laura Thompson in the house. But the reason we are here, ladies and gentlemen, is the gentleman that's shown, Mr. Bennie Price, Big Mama Safe House. I know you've seen him. He's been on the news. He's out front with this subject that is that's tearing up the country, and and hopefully we're finding solutions. And but one thing about it, this gentleman right here is out front, stepping up, and so he's here today. We just had to have him here today, Mr. Price, and I'm gonna turn it over to our creator to start this off, y'all. And I'm gonna go in the control room. But Mr. Price, I'm sure I'm gonna be back. They have some questions for you on this subject of gun violence, and welcome, and I'm glad for you to take your time to chat with us here at TAN TV.
Thank you. Thank you.
Creator.
So, hi, Benny. How you doing? This is Laura Thompson with TAN TV, and we're always super excited to have Mr. Benny Price on to talk about all of the great things that he's doing to ensure, that we have a safe and quality community, and he's always taking care of people in the community. So we wanted to bring him on for a couple of reasons, just because periodically we bring Mr. Price on to find out, what's new with Big Mama Safe House. He is the founder, and so I want him to first tell a little bit about, what Big Mama Safe House is all about, and how did it come about.
Thanks for having me. I'm Benny Price, CEO of Big Mama Safe House, the founder, also the program director of Community Violence Interrupters Team, the great program which is gang rehabilitation and affiliation ties, trying to reduce the gun violence here in San Antonio. Big Mama Safe House came about from a vision from God. And primarily, what we do is we're a safe house for domestic violence and gun violence victims with servicing those areas. It requires wraparound services to address the root problems. And the root problems that we are addressing is the food disparity. So we do have a small food pantry. Also, the job disparity. So we also have job resources, and also education. And so we have a education department where we try to make sure that the kids have tutors and after school programs. So that's
Wow.
primarily what we do.
So that is awesome. That is awesome. So I know that the last time we talked to you, you had just come back from the White House. And so, in the this time, when I spoke to you about coming on, you had gone to Austin, and so you're just coming back from Austin. Uh, so, so can you tell us about your trip to Austin and how that's going to help Big Mama Safe House?
So I got invited to Austin from one of our national partners, Community Justice Action Fund, to take part in Austin, Texas summit on gun violence. And being part of that panel, I was able to give my expertise on the things that were working here in San Antonio and around the country. And it was a very successful summit. I was really encouraged by um, the support that the gun violence effort has from its leaders, such as the commissioners, the DA's office. You have attorneys that signing on, to making sure that the legal things are well taken care of. The community had great community support, so I was very encouraged by just the level of support um, that the team was given in Austin, Texas.
Wow, so that's awesome. So you're not only providing services, but you're making sure that you have a continuing education and find out about different resources that are available to help the organization to grow and thus help provide more services. And so I know you mentioned that one of your focuses is stopping gun violence. It's funny that we were having this interview and invited you to talk about gun violence. I just received an email from Dr. Milton Harris. He's the executive director for the 100 Black Men, and he was telling me about some of the kids in their program, in their work development program. The 18-year-old that got killed, he was part of that program, the youth build program, and then two of the other ones were also a part of it that are in critical condition. And so, there's been a lot of gun violence just over the past couple of weekends. So kind of what do you attribute that to? And, what can people look forward to from Big Mama Safe House to kind of help with that situation?
The first thing I contributed, the gun violence, the spike of gun violence these last few weeks, is that the city as a whole was not prepared for the summer. Normally when the summer hits, violence, all the crime increases, especially gun violence. Um, and then the kids have more free time uh, and to do more mischievous things. And the youth programs, you know, are not connected to our youth for the most part. As you mentioned, there was a few um, young kids, young youth that experienced gun violence that were part of programs. Um, and then one of the things that we learned is that if kids are part of the programs, they have a better chance of not being part of gun violence or crime. It's
Mm-hmm.
unfortunate that these three that you mentioned were part of programs, but for the most part, we're looking very, very good once we get kids into programs because it's really not our kids that's getting into programs or experiencing gun violence, meaning that it may be 3 out of 10, but the kids that aren't in program is 7 out of 10. So
Wow.
if we continue to um, usher our kids into these programs, we usher them into a safe zone, which the numbers show that they're not part of the gun violence and crime as well.
Wow. So with Big Mama Safe House and the just the recent spike of gun violence, what type of services um, do you provide, or do you provide a voice or a platform, or how
So
do you address the gun violence that just recently happened?
So Big Mama Safe House is continued being credible messengers. We're continuing in the community, and trying to reduce the gun violence. But unfortunately, we just don't have enough help at this time because we
Mm-hmm.
only have one hired interrupter and two volunteers. Our partners have 24 employees, so
Mm.
that's basically less than 30 people for the city and county
Wow.
of Bear. So the investment that needs to be made hasn't been made yet, but we are putting a dent in it. It's unfortunate sometimes that when you reduce the gun violence, it's not heard of because it can't be reported. Just last night I had to mediate a situation that prevented gun violence, but it's not being reported because it didn't
Mm.
happen. The only things that's being reported is gun violence. So I would just say that Big Mama Safe House, we have a mental health program that's up and running. We still have our violent interrupters that's out in the community every day. We're answering our phones, uh, and we're encouraging our community to continuously to sign up their youth in these youth programs. And we asking our youth programs to reach out to our youth. We're asking why is it our youth falling through the cracks when you have these such great youth programs.
Hmm. Wow. So is your focus primarily on the east side, or are you citywide, or how do you operate?
So I'm citywide
Okay.
because gun violence travels. Gun violence does not stay on the east side, the west side, the south side, or north side. It travels. Every time you turn on the news, it's gun violence on every side of the town, and it
Mhm.
So let me let you know that it travels. It could be coming from the east side to the north side. It can be coming from the north side to the west side. It can come from the south side to the west side. So the gun violence travel. But we are primarily focusing on the area that we have been um, designed to focus on because of funding. Once
Mm.
we get more funding, then we can, widen our spread of focus. Um, but another thing, Big Mama Safe House on Tuesday nights we have free community bowling.
Mhm.
At Second Baptist Church, from 6 to 9. Um, we won't be doing it this Tuesday because they got something else planned. But every other Tuesday after that, we'll be there religiously. We have a community fair once a month where we come out and give the community and family resources. We also have a garden where we have volunteer
Wow.
day once a month. And if you want to be a part of the garden, you can come out there every day, to help the garden. So we're just trying to create opportunities to send our youth in the right direction because that's what's needed. When you don't have opportunities for our youth to go in the right direction, they tend to go in the wrong direction.
Wow. So how can if a young person wants to participate in the bowling activities or the gardening or any of the activities that you have going on that support our youth, how can they get in touch with you or how do they find out about it?
I make myself available. That's number one.
Okay.
So I like to let people know that if you call my phone, I answer. I'll call you right back. And you can
Mhm.
reach me at 281-509-1397. That's 281-509-1397. Or you can reach us here at 210-281-5259. That's 210-281-5259. Also, you can reach us on Facebook, Big Mama Safe House, or Benny Price. You can reach us at our email address at bigmamasafehouse.com, or you can also reach us on our website, bigmshouse.com.
Wow. So what types of programs do you have available for youth for the summer, or or do you even do that?
So right now we have a mental health program that we want to get them in because a lot of people have experienced gun violence, and so we
Hmm.
want to make sure that we get them healed right and going in the right direction. Also, we're what they call community navigators, and so all the programs that's available in the city, we let them know about. You have Ella Austin, Texas West Care that has a great program. Second Baptist Church, they have a good youth program starting this summer. So we just want to make sure that they continuously go in the right direction. You got Charles Satterwhite with Rising Stars. He has a basketball league. You have it's still football season. So we just want to make sure that all the resources that's available to our youth,
Hmm.
that the parents and the community is pushing them in that direction. We have to really push our young in the right direction. You can't no longer ask them, basically what they want to do. We just say, hey, get in there, and then we can figure things out, after they get in there.
Wow, that's awesome. So I understand that the basketball league here in San Antonio is going to New York to compete
Yes, yeah,
on a national level
yeah,
with those New York ball players.
yeah, yeah.
So
See
what
that
y'all
that's,
think
that's
about
a great
that?
opportunity from one of our local grassroots organizations. I think he told me he's taking like 40 people up there. So
That's a
that's a
big
great
deal.
opportunity.
That's a big deal. So I don't know what the name of that team is, but San Antonio's going to take it and bring back the trophy. So are you a native of San Antonio?
I'm a native of San Antonio, yes, born and
Okay.
raised
Okay.
here on the
So
east side.
okay. Okay. So this is a great conversation with great information. So is there anything that you would like to express about gun violence and kind of what we need to do as a community to support Big Mama Safe House and to make sure that our kids are safe and that families are safe.
Um, as we see the gun rise and the spike, and we continuously to lose our youth, we can't sit back um, and wait for it to happen to us. We can't wait till it happened to somebody else's child. We have to really decide to say, hey, we're going to do something different. Often, so many times, when we have a new death, the community mourns, but is not moved forward.
Hmm.
You know, so we have to get involved. We have to start ushering our kids in the right direction. And this is what I want to say: our young kids, when they're 7, 8, 9 years old, they're kids.
Hmm.
Parents decide what kids do.
Hmm.
Parents decide where kids go. Parents decides who your friends are going to be, right? And so we have to make sure that we're deciding for our children.
Hmm.
We can't wait till they get 14, 15, 16 years old when they almost, in our community, almost grown.
Hmm.
It's a lot harder to reach them when they get to that age. So we want to make sure that they well equipped to make good decisions, not adult decisions, but a child's decision of saying what we're going to play, what program we want to be a part of,
Wow.
because that's what's important. We're waiting too late to say, well, I got a 16-year-old. Well, it's almost too late.
Hmm.
It's almost too late. But what about when they're 7, 8 years old? You have an opportunity to usher him in the right direction. Our community has a lot of uphill battles. We have a lot of single parent homes. We have a lot of poverty. And so, yes, we have a lot of battles. But as a community, we can come together and decide what's best for our young. And I don't think right now we have decided that as a community. That's why you have so many youngsters going in the wrong direction, because as a community, we haven't decided that. It's our youth that are falling through the cracks. So I think it should be us that decide if we're going to get it right.
Wow. So that's a great, great perspective and a great way to look at it. And we want to thank you for coming on and talking to us. We've been talking to Bennie Price. He is the founder of Big Mama's House, Big Mama's Safe House. Um, and he did this to, protect our community and protect our kids and to help provide resources to keep our kids safe, sound mental capacity, and to keep them on the right path so that they won't choose gun violence or violence as an option. That shouldn't even be an option for our kids. So before we go, is there anything else you would like to say to encourage our kids and our families to support your organization?
I would like to say to the youth, um, if there's someone that you can really listen to that knows about um, committing acts of violence, um, I would consider myself an expert, so I can tell you the truth about uh, its impact, what it does, and the consequences. Consequences that you don't understand right now. But if you would trust someone that has been through it, then you don't have to experience what we experienced and the mistakes that we made. Also, we have a community fair once a month out in East Meadows, the first weekend of the month, that you can come out, you can volunteer, you can get involved in. And also on June 24th, our educational department will be giving away books and kid activities for the community. It's free of charge. Everything that Big Mama Safe House does is free of charge. So you can really take advantage of these opportunities. If your kid needs some reading books, some kid activities for the summer, you come on out, follow us on Facebook, Big Mama Safe House, or go to our website, and you'll have the information. And again, you can reach me, and I'll give you that information as well. But we want our community to really start to get involved in organizations and programs that really are trying to keep our kids, our family, and our community safe.
Wow. Well, we at TAN TV support you. Anytime you want to come back on and talk about the things that you do, or to just bring us some breaking news, we're available for you. So you've been tuned into In the Room on TAN TV, the African American Network, where we have a local feel with the global reach. And it's always a pleasure, Mr. Price, to come on and hear the progression and the progress that Big Mama Safe House is making. So
Thank
thank you so much for hanging out with us for a little bit.
Thank you for
Um,
having me. Thank you for being a supporter, not just of Big Mama Safe House, but for our kids, again, our family, and our community.
Wow, yes, it's very, very important. And keep up the great, great work.
Thank you.